Alright, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to break down a 2002 WRX wire harness. I'll go through some of the stuff. I started already, but I haven't gotten too far. But I'll go through step by step of where I am now and how to prepare your harness for a swap. So you have the computer, which sits on the passenger side on the kick panel. And then you have your, what is this? I think this is for fuel pump. This sits over on the passenger side too. And then you have, going out to the engine bay, all your engine harness stuff. This is basically the entire side that you need primarily. This is also engine bay stuff, O2 sensor, transmission plug. If you have an automatic, it's going to look a little bit different. This one's a manual one. And this goes to your starter. And then over here you have the driver's side. So you have the fuse panel and a bunch of relays, keyless entry, OBD2. Yeah. And then this is also what you need. So you basically need from here over, and then you need this one gray and black plug that goes to the intake and the driver fender. So I've already started to strip this down, but I'll show you what I did. So if you come over in this pile that's on the driver's side, and then you come back to this gray part, you'll find this gray connector in here. And then this gray connector will be connected to that. You need a 10mm. So unscrew that. Show you some tools. So you're probably going to need razor blade, electrical tape, wire cutters, pry tool, and then anything to get the 10mm out. But basically, you're going to disconnect that, and then there will be these connectors all connected into that gray little harness piece. So you're going to get that out, and then you're going to want to take your razor blade and start stripping back the black, and you're going to run down this. Oh yeah, and then actually while you're still in this area, there will be this yellow and blue wire that's connected to this plug right here, and this plug goes in the top here. You can see the other yellow and blue there. So you're just going to cut that right out the connector, and that's going to come along the ride. And then yeah, you just go down, strip off all the coverings, and you're going to want to keep these for the end to cover up the wires again. So yeah, you basically just go down. I don't have the entire front of the harness because I knew what I needed. So this is like, what do you call it? Airbag sensors. So yeah, you strip down to here. This will be just about right there. And that's basically, you don't need that anymore. So until you get just to this. So you'll have your intake cables, and then your power wire, this yellow and blue one, and that's gonna come along for the ride until the end, because that's gonna wire into whatever you're swapping into. I'm swapping into a 2000 RS. And yeah, just pull this aside now. Set it over here. A couple other things I'll go over that you might need. So this is in the trunk usually of the sedan. This is the fuel pump controller. If you are able to, try to get a pigtail of it. Makes wiring in easy. So I'll put that over there. If you are able to cut the entire harness out, it's also nice if you get this whole piece which goes underneath the driver's seat. It'll be like off to the right in the driver's seat, and the 2 wires you're looking for are right here. These are also gonna go to the fuel pump, but this is later in the video. This is probably the first part, just tearing down the harness. It's a green and red and a purple white. Those are fuel pump controls, and they run all the way back to the ECU. So coming back over here, basically this is all junk except that the harness that I'm wiring into is an automatic harness, so I'm going to try to bring these with me, which are the clutch switch and the brake switch and the clutch relay. So I'm going to try my best to bring that all down the harness with me, but I already got, so if you're not doing a manual swap, then you just need this, and basically you're going to pull this until it stops, and it'll probably be this green and red one right here. I forget what this is for. I think it's just grounds. I'd have to look at it again. I'm trying to think. I haven't done this in a while. I think it's just a bunch of grounds, but this plug right here is going to be going that way. So basically anything that's not going towards the ECU, you're going to cut. So this is going to be stuck in right here. You're not going to be able to pull this. So you're just going to cut this at the farthest point here. You can keep all these ties because there's probably going to be some wires at the end that you can tie onto. And yeah, so you're going to pull that back. And then there's also going to be this black ground. It's probably going to be going down into like your radio harness, the part that comes to the middle right here. And yeah, you can cut that ground too. And same thing, strip your wires back. Alright. And then, yeah, those will be mainly the only 2 wires that'll be tangled in. But then you're also going to get to a point where these 2 wires right here, these are for oil, pressure, and temperature, I think. I should probably get on my notes for this, but yeah, they look like this. You're going to want to keep these. It's going to be a white and green, and a green and white. They're also going to be coming down. Which part of the harness? I think they come down. Oh yeah, they come down right into this middle part, and they tie off right here because this piece right here goes up to your cluster. This 3 green plug. So this is plugged in right here. So it goes to your engine temp or coolant temp, and what else is up there? It might only do engine temp, I think, or your coolant temp, I mean. But this can also come off and just be set aside. You can use this if you want to do like cluster swaps and stuff like that. So you can keep that if you want. But basically, once you get these 2 wires, you can make them as long as you can, or you can come up here, it doesn't matter. It's best to keep things as long as you can. But once you get this ground and this red and white wire, then you can take off this middle piece. This will all be taped right here. And then you can just keep pulling this back like that. Pull it all the way to your O2 sensor and your engine, and you can throw it over there. So basically everything now, except I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to get this clutch switch with it, just because I'm going to be doing a manual swap and I want to try to keep the clutch switch and everything, so when you push down your clutch to start and stuff like that. Otherwise you just have to bypass all that if you're doing like a simple manual swap. But once you get to this point, you get to the part where you're at your transmission and O2 sensor. Sorry. then everything basically right here can be cut. Like none of that driver's side is all useless. So all this radio stuff go over there. So yeah, so now we have from here, and this is all stuff that's gonna get merged. Almost everything. So yeah, I'm gonna put it on time lapse, start to chop down everything until basically I have just this side of the harness and all the engine components and everything. Those are all basically gonna stay the same. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna switch it to time lapse. Alright, so I found the relay. This is for your clutch switch and everything. I don't think I'm going to film this part, but basically this is your ignition starter wire, and this goes to your clutch switch. So it does some sort of reverse switch that allows you to start the car. And same thing, I'm not going to record this part, but I'm just going to get these all the way down to there, and probably going to be trimming this off because I just need that. This is only if you like want to go way and beyond for a manual swap and keeping like the clutch pedal switch all OEM and stuff. There's simpler ways to do it, but I'm gonna get the harness all the way up to there and then cut off that, and I'll be back when I have all that ready. Oh, and then again, one more time before you go and you cut anything, always make sure you have the right wires. I just wanted to show you again. This gray wire is all the way to here, and this is where we're going to be cutting. So everything up to the OBD2, you know, because that used to be over there, pulled it. The only two wires you have to cut are this green and red. That'll be located up here on this driver dash side, and then you want to keep that white and green and that green and white that you'll find in this midsection. Pull it all back there, and once I have that all cut, I'll be back to start stripping and simpling, you know, breaking down that side. Basically from over there you just need the two fuel pump wires that I was showing you. So you just pull those all the way through, and then I think that's all you need. You might need gas temp and gas level also pulled out of there, but I'll figure that out when I get down there. Alright, so I got rid of all of the driver's side dash stuff. There's all the wires and everything. I brought all the clutch stuff with me, even though I don't think I'll be using like even half of the stuff I brought, but just in case. I also brought the OBD2 with me, and again, anything that's leading away from the ECU you don't need. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video here, but in the next video I'll be stripping down and getting the fuel pump wires and fuel level wires. But yeah, see you next time. Just to end off this video, I wanted to show the car that I'm working on. It's a 2000 25 RS. It's got 79,000 miles on it. As you can see, no rear quarter panel rest, and the side skirts are all there. Like I said, it is the 2.5. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a series on the WRX swap into this. Basically that harness that I was working on, I'm going to be doing paint job to the front. The rear of the car is all good, but for some reason the front half is missing paint. So yeah, this thing is pretty clean. Like I said, pretty low miles for the year. Some work to the inside that I've done already. Just cleaned it up, installed the O2 WRX steering wheel. Basically when I got it, the guy couldn't get it to start, so I didn't use a fuel pump. So I put a fuel pump in it, started right up, runs pretty good. And then this is the engine that I'm going to be putting in. It's a JDM EJ206 twin turbo. So I'm going to try to stick with the twin turbo idea, but instead of going the sequential on the both sides, because I've read that you run into problems with the steering column having the turbo on the side. So what I'm going to do is I've already taken off the manifold and switched to the single turbo manifold, but I've seen a couple people do compound setups. So I'm going to be running this VF25 with TD04. I think I might go with a TD06, but I'm going to try out the TD04 first. And the TD04 is going to kind of sit here. This is going to feed into the TD04. TD04 is going to feed pressure into the front of this, and then this is going to feed into the intake. Might try switching the engine harness and using the JDM intake, because this doesn't have TGVs or anything like that, and it also has the big injectors. I'll see what I can do with that. I think I can just switch the engine harness and make it work, and then figure out how to get the codes off for the TGVs and everything like that, just so I can have those big injectors and, you know, just all the free airflow straight into the engine. No advanced timing on this. Like I said, it's the EJ206. It's not the 207 JDM STI one, but these ones apparently still have forged internals, but they're not as strong as the STI. But I think I can still get up to like a safe 18 pounds, and I'll run the compound turbo setup, so it'll have power all throughout the RPMs. Should make boost pretty quick. This is a pretty small turbo, and especially if it's getting fed forced air, it's gonna spool up pretty quick. And yeah, this engine probably has around 50,000 miles on it or something like that. I got it from some JDM depot. It's in really good shape. I mean, if you look at the fuel rails, they look brand new. These are usually rusted away, and this is like brand new. I mean, the copper on that still looks pretty shiny. Yeah, this is the original twin turbo headers. I've already taken off. Probably going to be selling these if anybody wants them. And then that's the secondary turbo. I was going to run this one, but then if you look at the bottom of this one, just got too small of an exhaust, I think, to run a compound through that, because even that exhaust port on that one is way bigger. So I'm just gonna go with the TD04. Plumbing and stuff. I know that there's an oil feed on this side and an oil drain on this side. I think I'm gonna close that oil drain, but keep this oil feed and run that to the second turbo, and then maybe tee off the oil drains here. I haven't really read up on it, don't know if it's safe or not, but I could tee up the oil drains and have them just drain into that head. And if it's not safe, then I don't know, I'll figure out some way to plumb it over to there, but I think it should be fine. But then I'll definitely run the plumbing for the oil feed from here, do some metal braided wire. But yeah, it should be a pretty good series. I'm starting off with a pretty nice car. I've done this already to a wagon that you can see on my channel. I did a video on that, but there should be a step-by-step, the whole process, going through the swap and everything. And it won't be a single TD04 like my other one. Well, actually, it's a TD05 now. I swapped the turbo on that one. But compound setup on this one, plus a JDM engine. Should be pretty sweet. Alright, that's it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to do more of the wire harness, and then I'm also going to be doing videos modifying this and going to the compound setup. So yeah, stay tuned.